And we're back, part 2. So let's do this one together. So looking at problem number 2, we have a problem that looks kind of complicated. There's 3 fractions being added together, there's some parentheses, there's a lot going on here. Well, the easiest way to attack this problem is to first try to group the fractions that have common denominators together. But before we do that, let's look to see what the first question says. What do the parentheses indicate? Well, they indicate that we are supposed to add whatever is in those parentheses first. So we add those fractions first. So what I want to do to make life easy is I actually want to get this negative 3/4 to be closer to the 7/4, and from there I want to then go ahead and then shift the parentheses over. So we're going to move 3/4 and then move the parentheses over. Sorry about that. I had to turn off a light in my house to get the lighting better. All right, anyways, so the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to rewrite this. We're going to write 5 equals 5/9 plus negative 3/4 plus 7/4. So what I did here is I just moved the 5/9 and the negative 3/4 around. Just swap them. Then I want to go ahead and then shift the parentheses over from here to here. So I'm going to keep the same order of the fractions. All I'm going to do is shift the parentheses over, should be a 4, to look like this. All right, now according to this question, it says that we're supposed to add the fractions first. So which fractions are like fractions? Well, negative 3/4 and 7/4 are like fractions. So I'm going to write this here. Negative 3/4 and 7/4 are like fractions. Right? Now, we can do this mentally. What is the sum of negative 3/4 plus 7/4, which is what it's asking for here? Well, I have common denominators, which means I can add, I can use integer addition rules for negative 3 plus 7. I notice that I have different signs, which means I subtract. 7 minus 3 gives me 4. But not just 4, well, positive 4, okay, over 4. Simplified, 4 divided by 4 gives me 1. Which means, since I did all my work here, 5/9 plus 1 equals 1 and 5/9. So how did this happen? Well, when I took this negative 3 plus 7 and I added them together, I got positive 4. And I divided by 4 to get 1. Now, any time I add 1 to a fraction, this 1 becomes the whole number and the 5/9 becomes the fraction. So what I would like for you guys to do is to go ahead and pause the video and complete questions E and F. Keep in mind, I would like for you to show all of your work. And if you get stuck at any point, please go ahead and press play on the video and watch my solution. See you back in a bit. All right, so now that you have tried to complete these problems on your own, let's go through the solution set pretty quickly. So we have 2/5 plus 4/7 plus 3/5. So the first thing I notice is that I have 2 fractions that are the same, or have common denominators, which is 2/5 and 3/5. So I want to try to get those 2 fractions next to each other. So let's go ahead and swap 2/5 and 4/7 with each other. Or let's swap 3/5 and 4/7. So we'll keep 2/5 the same, plus 3/5 plus 4 over 7. Okay, cool. So now we're going to go ahead and shift the parentheses over to make them fit around the 2/5 and the 3/5. Plus 4/7. So it's a 2-step process in this situation. Move the fractions, like swap them out, and then shift the parentheses over. I have common denominators here, which means I can add the numerators. 2 plus 3 gives me 5 over 5 plus 4 sevenths. 5 divided by 5 gives me 1 plus 4 sevenths is equal to 1 and 4 sevenths, which happens to be my final answer. Now at any point, if I'm going too fast in my explanation, just rewind the video or rewind part of the video to see what part maybe I might have lost you at, but hopefully we're all okay at this point. Now the next question, letter F. You'll notice that there was a larger blank space here than say some of the other problems. That's because this is probably the lengthiest problem that we're going to accomplish today. So the first thing I want to do is look at my fractions and notice that I have different denominators, with the exception of negative 3/10 and positive 23 over 10. So let's go ahead and let's switch negative 3/10 and 5/8 with each other. So we have 5/8 plus negative 3 over 10 plus 23 over 10. I can then go ahead and shift the parentheses over from here to here. All right. I notice that I have two denominators that are the same. Therefore, I can use integer addition rules for my numerators. Negative 3 plus 23. Different sign, subtract. 23 minus 3 gives me 20. Since 23 is further away from 0, I say the answer is a positive 20 equals 5/8 plus 20 over 10. All right, here is the part that makes this problem longer. So even though we were trying to get common denominators, we didn't end up with that. Instead, when we were able to add negative 3 plus 23, we got positive 20, but we still have a denominator of 10 here and a denominator of 8 here, which means just like all the other problems we have been working on today, we have to find the LCD of both 8 and 10. So I'm going to go ahead and work that problem out here. So I'm going to draw an arrow to indicate that I'm working on the problem here. So here's my LCD. My LCD of 8, or multiples of 8, include 8, 16, 24, 32, and let's say 40. Multiples of 10 include 10, 20, 30, and 40. So let's say if 40 is our least common denominator. So let's rewrite this fraction, 5/8 plus 20 over 10, as 5/8 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 5 times 5 plus 20 over 10, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 4 times 4 to get 25 over 40 plus 80 over 40. Awesome. I have common denominators here of 40. Therefore, I can add the numerators together. 25 plus 80 gives me 105 over 40. Now, I know I've been asking you guys to convert to mixed numbers. And for now, because I haven't explicitly taught it yet, we're just going to keep this answer as an improper fraction. Now, if you converted it to a mixed number, your answer would have been 2 and 5/8. If you didn't, then I'm happy just with 105 over 40. So either or would have been okay. All right, at this point, please pause the video and take 1 minute to summarize as much as you can based on what you've learned from the last summary to this summary, or the last summary to this problem in the next minute or so. So after you're done, come back to part 3. See you in a bit.